So we're a strategy and innovation consultancy, which means we marry strategy with innovation to help companies solve complex problems. So that's the the quick overview. I think I'd address your question again from two different levels. On the first level would be the presenting symptoms that organizations might bring. So they might come to us and say, well, they have come to us and they said, we need help with retention, or we need help with employee engagement, or we need help responding more rapidly to the changing conditions in the market, or we want to innovate a new product or service and we don't know how, or we want to build a culture of a particular kind that's centered on innovation. So a lot of different possible symptoms. What they have in common is that they exist really between departments. So it's not just a marketing problem. It's not just a sales problem. It isn't a messy organizational kind of problem. And so what I do is I sort of wade into the mess and help people understand how we might find a way out. So that's the first level, I would say. But I think from a higher level, the 10,000-foot view, I think strategy is the most important decision an organization makes. Mm-hmm. And frankly, I think our tools to develop strategy are underdeveloped. So, for example, all sorts of people will offer to do strategic planning, but they could be marketers, they could be in branding, they could be in finance. And so what it ends up happening is this strategy piece is just appended to a company's service offerings, just like it's just a template that you can fill in. And I just think that there are better tools out there. So I want to bring tools that really invigorate people, that launch change, not just talk about change, that cause people to think differently. I could go on, but does that answer your question?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
It does. I would definitely wanted you to share that. And if I missed it, my apologies. When did Sevenfold start?
So the end of last year.
And apparently you had no problem starting it right in COVID land.
We started it, and it's running, so I guess we're doing okay.
How are you going to define success of Sevenfold?
Yeah, I talked earlier about how nonprofits struggle to define success, and I think on some level I'm going to struggle with it too. But I think it changes as a company grows. So, as an entrepreneur, we first need to define success as does it float, right? Does it even hold water? Does the market want it at all? And if the market doesn't want it, we've got to go back to the drawing board. So I think that's the first layer of success that we've got to check the box from. Beyond that, and I think we're just getting into this, is I want to determine what really brings value to clients. And strategy is notorious for being difficult to evaluate because it's really thinking about the future. How do you measure the future?
Right.
Well, I think what we've got to do is we've got to peg the things that we believe need to change. Then what I help companies do is actually help them launch that change and iterate and prototype and all these things. And then on the back end of that sort of design phase, as I call it, then you can evaluate, okay, look, our retention really has changed. So it's always relative to the client, depending on what they say their goals are. That's what we end up measuring.